You too, what is going on? Chris with Journos, Comics, and Pop Culture. I regret that I have to make this video today, and to be honest with you all watching, I don't even know where this is going to go um, or where to even begin. But for many of you in the community, if you have not known yet, well, many of you know of our good friend, OMG-Chris, who has been a part of this community for many years now. I just received word via his channel from his brother Sean that he had a seizure and was basically on life support, and that at this time that I'm making this video, Chris most likely is no longer with us. And I'm just coming off of this news, and I'm absolutely shocked. And I sat there for a few minutes, even wondering if doing a video like this is something that I should be doing. I'm not good at this stuff. I'm not good with death and with, knowing what the right thing to do is. But I thought it most genuine for me to come out here with these raw emotions and share with you rather than later. And I do that on the ground of obviously honoring Chris in who he was as a human being. But most importantly, well, that's most importantly who he was as a human being, but also what's important is what he was to this community. And I'm going to touch on why I am so passionate about some of the things that I talk about on my channel, and why I take things more deeply or serious maybe than others that are in this community, and why right now more than ever I think these things that I'm going to address are extremely important. But first, I just want to talk about Chris. I want us to remember who he was and what he did for all of us within this community. And he was one of the first individuals that I found, or maybe he was one of the first individuals that found me. It's hard to remember, but Chris was one of the best of us. He just had this childlike joy about him that drew you to him and to his channel and to him as a friend. And he is one person that I communicated with. I unfortunately, we look at now and wish that we could have communicated more, but outside of the YouTube. And he was always giving from the bottom of his heart. And I have this picture of him here, and you probably can see him there wearing his mask, showing up the custom comic book that I drew for him, because he always talked about Andrew Garfield being his favorite rendition of Spider-Man, and of course he loved Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy. So I did that custom comic. He was so proud of it, and he made multiple videos of it, showing off, because he sent it to CBCS to get it graded. And that just, it made my day, knowing how much it made his day. It touched my heart and gave me purpose, and but Chris was somebody that truly believed in community, in building these friendships, and getting involved in this hobby for the love of it. And you knew that because Chris was funny, because he was always all over the place with his collecting. Like, he would do, he was so heavy into his pops. And then he said, you know what, I'm going to chill on my pops. I'm going to get into my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then he would go back into just comics. And then he wanted nothing but like 9.8 slabs. And he would show it all off. And I loved it. That's not a bad thing. That's a great thing, because it showed his passion and how he would really just allow himself to dive into these different elements. But he'd always circle around, and I think that speaks to a lot of us, where I know me and I talked about this before, about how our collecting evolves and it changes, and sometimes we might want to focus on this and that, but I think that the biggest thing, and for all of us that watch Chris and got to know Chris, is his just his voice and his energy, and how we started every video that he did greeting his fellow tubies, as he will call them. And oh man, it's hard to process this. And I think that the biggest thing that I loved about what he stood for, and I wrote this in my note on the back of this comic, was that he always ended his video saying, collect what you're passionate about. And I wrote that on there, and that's something that'll live with me forever. Because, and then I'm going to get into kind of a deeper thing here. It's about what we're passionate about. And he really made that known. And this is why, guys, everyone watching, whether you are a YouTuber or you're just a viewer, and you subscribe to YouTubers like myself or Chris, and just leave comments, this is why I'm so adamant about keeping the BS out of this community. This is why I'm so adamant that we can have opinions that differ. We can have political views that differ, religious views that differ, and we can disagree on all things geek culture and comic books. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter that we become divided as a community. And I really feel like, knowing that Chris will not be here with us anymore is a blow to those that come here for the joy of this hobby and with the purpose to unite all of us instead of divide us. You know, there are so many, you know, and it's funny because, you know, people like Chris or myself or a lot of other YouTubers out there that just do this for the love of it. We don't have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. You know, we want more subscribers because we want to dive deeper and be a bigger part of the community. But we're not here to gain 100,000 subscribers so we can get a paycheck every month. We do this for the love of it. But it's sad how the divisive rhetoric in this community is so popular. And not only that, like, I just did a video the other day discussing a controversial comic, and I lost, as of today, 8 subscribers just because I spoke on something that a lot of people disagree with. It's sad. It's sad. Even me and Chris, we would comment and not agree all the time, but it was always love. We were still like brothers. It's not, you know, I'm gonna unfriend some, you know, and I always say this too. It's like, we're so quick to unfriend people on social media. Would you unfriend them in real life just because you disagree with someone? It's so petty, guys. And I know that Chris made us all that he befriended. He made us better people. And that's something that'll never die within me. And this goes to show, you know, and I never met Chris in person. You know, I talked about going up to Seattle and making that happen one day. But it shows that we can use technology and social media as a way to really unite each other. And we live in a world right now where we need that more than ever. It is a scary world out there. And maybe Chris's timing to go was his way of telling us that we can't wait any longer. We can't piss away any more time acting like ego-driven, selfish children when we are supposed to be uniting as family over things that allow us to escape the ugliness of the real world. Chris had been through so much in his life. So much. He lost the woman that he loved, battling sickness over and over again, and he kept coming back to fight. And I don't think he came back to fight for himself. He came back to fight for his community and his family, to be an example. And that's what we all need to be for each other right now. So I want everyone to obviously keep Sean in your thoughts and Chris in your prayers, and most importantly in your heart, because that's where he would want to be right now. And for those that didn't know Chris or didn't watch his channel, please take my word for it. He was the best of us. And I hope that his passing does not go in vain. I hope that this can allow us as a community to be stronger and better, especially to each other and to everyone else around us in this world. I would encourage other YouTubers to, throughout the coming days, the way that we can pay tribute to Chris is post some videos of your favorite memories of Chris, whether it's some of the videos that he did or some, just some talks, if you talked or had communication with him, anything, whether it was an act of kindness that he sent you, or to the little things. Like, I know another thing that would always make my day was how he always included his little pop Freedom, the Braveheart character Freedom, and he took on the whole character role, and he would sit there and do his videos with them, and just share your stories, and let's remember Chris, because he will for always be here with us in spirit. So with that being said, I reached out to Sean. I hope, Sean, and if you're watching this, Sean, please reach out to me. I left my email on a comment. I'll actually leave my email in the subscription in the description under this video. So Sean, if you're seeing this, you can reach out to me. And again, for everyone out there, in the words of OMG-Chris, collect what you're passionate about. Be good to each other.